Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. My name is Jake for FM Scout and today we're going to be doing a Wonderkid to Superstars video. By the time this goes out I would assume it's episode 2, following on from RDF's brilliant video about Andrew Papetti. He was a centre back Wonderkid that developed into an absolute superstar, and today we're going to do a similar thing, zooming 5 years into the future for a new Wonderkid. I always preface any video about Wonderkids by saying that obviously in your saves their potential can be a little bit different, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, so everything is kind of up to chance. But with the player that I'm showing today, he's got quite a high range, meaning that in most saves, given the right training, mentoring, game time, etc., he'll do quite well. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoy it, comment down below any players that you think we should do next in this series, and subscribe to help us hit 100,000 subscribers. We're getting close to it, we're hoping at some point in December we can hit it, so thank you if you can do that, and now let's get into the video. So the player we're looking at today is Manchester United's Shola Shoretire. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's an attacking midfielder on the left hand side or in the centre, but better suited to this left hand side. He's 16 years old, an England international, not yet got any caps for the youth team as you'd probably expect at the age of 16, and he has a 5-star potential, 4-star minimum, 5-star maximum. He's classed as a promising winger, has a perfectionist personality which should come in very handy in this save really in terms of how he develops, with an already decent determination rating. He's 5'5", has a player trait of tries tricks, which is backed up by his flair, which is at 18, and then everywhere else he's actually, for a 16-year-old, got some quite decent stats already. Normally he's not going to be playing for Manchester United straight away, of course, but in this save we're going to put him straight into this Manchester United team, simulate 5 years ahead. I'll show him after 3 years and after 5 years. We can see how he's progressed, how he's performed, and any milestones he's picked up on the way, such as team of the weeks, team of the months, player of the months, whatever. Any competitions he's won, and hopefully he has a good career. So let's look at his stats. As we have already looked at, mentally his determination and flair stand out. Other than that, he's got decent work rate, decent vision, decent off the ball, and then everything else is pretty poor, to be honest. But as always, he is 16. You'll find most youngsters are like this, and will need a bit of time to develop these mental stats. They'll continue growing until the player's 30, 35, so hopefully his mental stats do grow in his early years. So in terms of his physicals, he's got decent speed, 14 acceleration and 12 pace. For a winger, it's nothing special, it's not too bad, he'll still do a decent job. He's not exactly going to run past people like Adama Traore, but his physicals are decent for his age. Then you've got his technicals, where he is actually very talented for a 16-year-old. 14 technique, 14 passing and 15 first touch standing out, as well as some nice dribbling. He does need some improvement in the final third, whether it's finishing, composure, decisions, heading, long shots. Heading in particular is a bit worrying at 2, but it's not a big deal for a winger. He also only has 3 tackling and 2 marking. Again, he is a winger, so it doesn't matter too much, but it would be useful if these stats can just kind of go up as he develops. They're not the main stats we'll be looking at though. We'll be hoping that his physicals improve a little bit, his mentals improve a good amount, and his technicals will hopefully go up to the point where we can class him as an elite winger for Manchester United. So how are we going to develop him? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to simulate 5 seasons, as I did say, where we go on holiday basically and say to the assistant manager, use the tactics that we're using here. And the only tactic we've really got, and the only player we've got in the team, is Shola Shoretire. So as long as he is fit, he'll be playing in this left wing spot for 5 whole seasons. Quite an attacking tactic, so hopefully it suits him quite well. Obviously at Manchester United there is a lot of competition in these attacking spots. You think Rashford, Martial, Greenwood could probably play on that side if they really wanted. I assume they're going to go and sign Fati like they do in pretty much every save in this Football Manager so far. So he's going to have some competition, but he will be playing. So if his star rating maybe doesn't go up too high, it's probably because he's being compared to some top class talent that Manchester United have. But we're less interested about star rating and more interested in his stats and how he performs. So Shola Shoretire is here as the left winger. We've got him mentoring in this group here with 2 significant impacts on him, which are Paul Pogba and David De Gea. Maybe Paul Pogba isn't the best player to learn from, but he's learning from a lot of influential and leadership type players, and he's gotten a significant impact from the group, so that's good to see. In terms of his training, we're going to be training him in his position on this left wing side. We're going to be doing an additional focus on attacking movement, which are the things highlighted in blue, which are mental stats that we'd hope after 3 seasons maybe that will improve. We're going to check back after 3 seasons and maybe change his training around, because by then this should really have improved a lot, especially at double intensity. So increases the risk of him getting an injury, but hopefully it will develop him at a lot faster rate. Now I would just like to say that if you are developing youngsters, sometimes the best thing to do isn't to play them at the age of 16 every game. Sometimes that can actually hinder their development. I would actually suggest, if you are developing a youngster like a 16-year-old, bring him into your team every now and then as a sub on cup games, every now and then give him a start. 50 games a season might not be the best thing to do straight away in this guy's career, but for the purpose of this test, we're going to do it. Hopefully he turns into a superstar, so let's skip into season 3 to see how the guy's done. So here we are in 2023, it's the 31st of May, so we've just finished the third season. We can see Manchester United are champions. Shola isn't anywhere to be seen on here, but Mason Greenwood getting a very impressive 64 goals. I think we all know that he is definitely going to turn out into a superstar in pretty much every save we do. We can actually see that, is that the Champions League final coming up? It is, against Liverpool. So hopefully they'll win that too. We'll be able to find out when we simulate into the 5th season. But let's have a look at how Shola has done. Before we talk about how Shola has done in his 3rd season, I'd just like to let you guys know that in the description you can find a link to my channel. We're getting close to 500 subscribers over there, so if you could help us push to that goal, that would be brilliant. We're doing a Chelsea beta save over there right now, which a lot of you are enjoying, so thank you all for your support on my channel, and let's get into how Shola's done. And here he is now as a 19-year-old. The growth isn't crazy, but he is definitely looking like a very good player at what he does. He might only be a 2-star player. We're not going to take too much notice of that, or at his value, because it's little things like he's asking for a new contract. I assume if he gets this new deal, his value is going to skyrocket in the next couple of seasons. Hasn't had that many caps for England or the youth teams. And yeah, 2-star player, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We're going to notice that his potential is still there. He is now classed as a confident winger, and I'm sure his ability rating will go up. As I did say, he's being compared to a Manchester United squad full of talent in their prime years. This guy's only 19. You can class his first 3 seasons as like bonus seasons, because in reality, most players under 19 aren't going to be starting 50 games a season for Manchester United. But we can already see a major improvement in this guy's stats. We'll start off with his physicals, where I'd say there is the least growth, and we can see straight away that his acceleration has gone up quite a lot. He's now 5'6" instead of 5'5", so still a small guy, but a little bit taller. And I don't know if there was that many other improvements on here. Maybe his agility went up, I can't remember too well. But he now does look like a fast winger. He definitely needs some improvement in his stamina or strength. Maybe that's just the kind of player he is. But maybe as he gets older that will develop, even if we go past. Obviously we're going to simulate 5 seasons when he'll be 21. He's obviously still going to have room to grow at that point. So he can definitely become a stronger player with better stamina. But there's a huge improvement in his mentals here. His determination has actually dropped by 1. I believe his flair has stayed the same, but his off the ball, his vision, his work rate, his decisions and composure, as well as his anticipation, are all at a very high level. That's probably because we have trained him in that final third, which I believe was composure, decisions and off the ball, which are looking very good stats now. So mentally, he's probably already got everything he needs. Any improvements on top of this are bonuses. But I think he's a very good player mentally for a 19-year-old. You won't find 19-year-olds, many of them at least, with better mental stats than this guy. His technicals are incredibly high for a 19-year-old. His dribbling, first touch, passing and technique are exceptional. Even if he was 29, I would still class this as like amazing stats, and this guy's got way more room to grow yet. His crossing and finishing seem like they've gone up too since we last saw him. Hopefully they'll keep going up, especially his finishing, which will make him more of a threat in the final third, as right now he seems like more of a creator type. I haven't looked into his stats yet, but he seems more of a creator in terms of the stats that he's got. So let's see how this guy has done in his 3 years at Manchester United, remembering that he was 16, 17, 18, and it looks like he is not long turned 19. So we're not expecting crazy stats in terms of the numbers he puts up, but let's see how he did anyway, and he's actually done fairly well. His average rating isn't the best, but that could be due to him basically being run out every day for far too long, which could have affected his performances. You could imagine he was going into most games tired. But if we look at his stats here, you can see he's picked up 11 assists in the most recent season, his best tally so far, 5 assists in the one before that, and 7 assists before that. He's had his best season in terms of average rating, and he's hit 3 goals every season. But if we look here, we can see that he's actually scored 11 goals, 4 coming in the Cup and 4 coming in continental competitions, with an extra 5 assists as well. So on the continental stage, he's done very well in terms of his goals and assists in only 13 appearances. Apparently only ever getting 1 player of a match, which seems harsh, but it looks like this Manchester United team has been doing very well. So the fact that he isn't picking up man of match awards is probably because they've got so many good players. So let's look at his milestones so far, see how well Manchester United have done. We can see in the 3 seasons that we've simmed so far, Manchester United have won both Champions Leagues and they're in the Champions League final of this season's one, so they could be going for 3 Champions Leagues in a row since Shola is in the team. That's probably less down to him and more down to the tactic and the other players that Manchester United have got. They do seem very overpowered in this Football Manager. They've won a Premier Division in 2021 and 2023, so finally bringing back some Premier League glory to Manchester United. A Club World Cup there too, an FA Cup, a Super Cup. They've absolutely dominated in terms of competitions. I would have shown you Shola's landmarks, but for some reason, when I go on to him, let's have a look. But for some reason, when I go on to his career milestones, it's not showing anything, including his competitions. I can only assume maybe this is a glitch due to it being in the beta phase, because even if he didn't win any individual awards, he would have won competitions, because Manchester United have won Champions Leagues, they've won Premier Leagues, all with him in the team. So unless I'm being really stupid, I don't know why it's not showing that. But that is Shola at 19 years old in 2023. We're going to simulate to 2025, see how well he's done there. Hopefully my computer can handle it. So I'll see you 5 years in the future. And at the age of 21, can this guy be an absolute superstar for Manchester United? Wow, the answer to that was yes. He's a £72 million player now at the age of 21. Still no England cap somehow, but appearing for the youth team quite a lot. Classed as a 3-star player, but interestingly, at the age of 21 still has a 5-star potential. So if we carried this sim on for another 5-10 years, he probably would make it into that bracket of like one of the best wingers in the world, if he isn't already. But I actually want a laptop after this, and I feel like it might explode if I do any more seasons. So we're going to stop it here after 5 seasons, but let's have a look at this guy's physicals. His acceleration and agility are at a very high level, as well as his pace now. So when he's gone from before being a average speed winger, at the age of 21 he is very, very quick. He improved his stamina like we wanted him to. His strength never really went up too much. It was at like 6 before, so I suppose we can take the upgrade. His mental stats look absolutely brilliant. His final third have gone up so much. I mean, his vision is a lot higher than I remember it being. Off the ball, composure and anticipation, so good for a left winger. 19 technique is an incredible stat. He's probably one of the most technical players in the game now. 17 passing, 12 long shots, really good finishing now, 14 finishing, 17 first touch, 17 dribbling, 12 crossing. What a player this guy's turned out to be at the age of 21. Let's quickly have a look at how he's progressed since we saw him before. Let's go from all time. Let's just see how much his stats have increased, and you can see across the board huge improvements as you would expect. But we're seeing the likes of 6s, 7s, 5s fly everywhere. Let's have a look here. His physicals have gone up a crazy amount. Apparently he had a strength of, 3 before we started? I don't remember that, but his strength has gone up a hell of a lot, as has his stamina, his pace. He got a lot more balance, agility, acceleration, all increased massively. So we did see a bigger upgrade in his physicals than we did expect. His mentals have gone up a huge amount. His decisions going up by 7, off the ball going up by 6, vision going up by 4, anticipation going up by 6. You get the idea. Mentally, he is probably one of the best in the world already at the age of 21. And then technically, what an absolute star this guy is. 19 technique, gone up by 5. Improvements absolutely everywhere. Has he improved in terms of his performance in game? We can see he has. He's become a lot more well-rounded player, hitting 6.75 average match ratings, which is not high at all for someone who's picking 8 goals and 7 assists in 38 appearances. Maybe he's been doing some stupid stuff along the way. Who knows? But he does look very good. I don't understand why his rating is so low. You've got to remember, I'm not managing these games where you might be able to tinker with him, play him when he's not fit, and maybe like shout at him to get better performances out of him. I've been simming through the season, so that's been down to the assistant manager, who obviously hasn't done a very good job at getting the best performances out of him. But in terms of seeing his stats improvements and like overall becoming a top level player, we can see that definitely did happen. As his finishing has increased, he's become a lot more of a goal scorer now. And I'm just really impressed with this guy, even if his stats don't really back it up. I mean, to be fair, his assists and goal numbers aren't bad at all for a left winger. It's more just his player of the matches and average ratings. I don't understand why they're so low. But he's looked like an absolute top player. Let's see if Manchester United won anything else with him there. We can see they must have lost to Liverpool that year, and then things have been on the decline because they haven't won a Champions League since that one in 2022. They came runners-up in the Premier League in 2024, and they finished 4th this season, I believe. So they've been on the decline, Manchester United, as Shola has gotten better and better. Not too much extra to shout home about since last time we saw him. It looks like Man U have been on the decline. But what a guy this player has become. Valued at £72 million as well. That's not to be sniffed at as well, because he was, what, £2 million 2 seasons ago? What a guy this guy is. If I was managing him now more hands-on and actually playing the matches, I'd get better improvements out of him in terms of his average ratings and stuff for sure. I'd probably add some extra traits on him here as well. There's not much I'd want to improve in terms of his technicals, mentals and physicals. I think he's already there. He just needs to draw out some good performances from that. We can see in terms of injuries across the 5 seasons, this guy has been absolutely destroyed by the amount of games he's been playing. but I think we've got good performances out of him in terms of how he's developed. So Shola Shoretire has become a superstar in my opinion, and if you don't class him as a superstar right now with the stats that he's got, I would suggest another 2 or 3 seasons of playing at the top level. This guy will certainly be a superstar, no doubt about it. He costs a hell of a lot of money if you're trying to sign him from Manchester United. At least when I tried in the first season, they gave me a crazy number like 155 million. So if you Manchester United, give him a chance. And if you're not Manchester United, maybe just keep an eye on him in case he becomes available. But Shola Shoretire, what a player, one of the highest potential wingers on this version of FM21. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments who you'd like me to do next. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.